Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Intercepted with Kevin Byard. I got a special guest today, the hometown hero, Cole Kmet, man. I appreciate you coming on the show
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you.
Absolutely. So, first off, man, tough loss yesterday.
Yep.
Obviously, wasn't the results that we wanted, but you had a great game.
Yeah,
10 catches,
stat-wise,
97.
Had a few catches. I think the pass game started to take up for us a little bit, so that was a good positive. Caleb was getting in rhythm there. Saw some good shots to Rome. DJ as well was getting involved, myself.
Absolutely.
So, there was some good stuff there, some good third down conversions. So there were some positives in it. I know it wasn't the result we wanted, but things that we can build on and get better at. And obviously looking forward to LA this week and kind of improving on those things. So
finally get to come back home and play a home game for our crowd.
I know.
Again.
It feels like it's been a little bit, hasn't it?
It's been a while, bro.
Yeah.
AFC games on the road, because I've been in Tennessee for a while, so I played both of these teams a lot. So I've been in those dome stadiums.
Yeah. Well, and thankfully we're home for this game, not having to fly out to LA for it.
And we can get off the turf, too.
Yes, that is much needed. Yeah, my body's feeling it today. 2 weeks
I can't
around
stand the turf at all.
Brutal.
But definitely want to get on you being a hometown hero, like I said. So I had a similar deal. I went to college in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee State, did 5 years there, got redshirted. Then I got drafted to Tennessee. So that was just like a crazy deal. My nickname was Mayor of Murfreesboro. So Middle Tennessee is
everyone
Murfreesboro.
tries to call me Mayor, too.
This was Mayor of Murfreesboro. So how was that? Because you went to high school here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you went to college in Notre Dame, but then coming back here, getting drafted here, getting a second contract here. Talk about that experience and just how that, how great has that been?
Yeah, well, it's
or
been crazy.
Been negative?
Yeah, well, it's been crazy. I mean, I guess started out in high school, went locally here in Arlington Heights, people that know St. Viator, and then got a scholarship offer to Notre Dame, and at the time Brian Kelly was there, so he was going to let me play both football and baseball. So that's why I ended up being like, all right, I'm for sure going to ND, and obviously their lineage of tight ends that they've had there and producing NFL tight ends was something I really looked at, and just the full landscape of the school really appealed to me as well. So it was a perfect fit for me, and so traveled 2 hours to school, and that was awesome for my family, being able to travel and all that, and getting to do that experience. And the college experience was great, and and then going into my junior season. I started getting some deals like, you can maybe leave early. And at that point, I was like, there's no way. Like, I kind of had played a little bit, but not enough. But, enough scouts had gone through Notre Dame for other guys to, notice my talent in practices and whatnot. And ended up having a really good junior year and got my grades back for the draft. And it was a 2, so at that point
you were the top-rated tight end coming out, right?
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, all right, and like getting advice from some other people, it was like, all right, like if you want to do this NFL thing, like you should do it now. And I was like, all right, so I ended up doing that, and that was tough because I did want to play another year of baseball because at the time my brother had just got into Notre Dame and he was playing baseball there, so I wanted to play 1 year with him, but had to forgo that for the NFL dream.
Had to make the business decision.
Yeah, and then that whole draft experience is just nuts. You're hearing all the things of where you might go, and sure you get the 2 on the grade sheet, but some people are telling you, you might go late first, early second, and so you're kind of waiting to see. And at my position, it is a little weird because you got to have a run on certain positions
100%.
to get drafted that high. But ended up going in the second round, and on that day, got a call and. On the TV, it was Jacksonville on the clock.
Okay.
And so I get the phone call, and my brother's like, oh, shit, like, because he's thinking I'm going to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And we knew that the Bears were right after. But then, sure enough, Matt Nagy, who was the head coach at the time, his face popped up on the FaceTime screen.
Oh, it was a FaceTime.
It was
that's
FaceTime.
Dope. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was sweet. And my whole family was just going crazy. And, I mean, this was in the middle of COVID, too, so that was also a crazy experience.
Yeah.
So I get that, and now I was back in Chicago,
100%.
and really since then it's been pretty crazy. A lot to learn. I know how these people operate here. They're very passionate about their football, and you got to be able to tune them out at times and handle it that way. It's a big football town. I'm sure from being in places like Philly and
100%.
how it can be. So it was a lot to handle at first. You got a lot of family.
A lot of tickets.
A lot of tickets to come to games, and you kind of have to shrink the circle a little bit in terms of who gets to come to games and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But no, it's been a great experience. And then the last year being able to get extended here was just was unbelievable. You know, I definitely wanted to be a part of the come up of this thing, and I see where it's going. I see the guys that we got in this team, and I know it's been a little bit of a struggle here to start, but I just see where we can go and where we can take this thing, and really excited about that. And then and then obviously being elected captain as well, along with you and some of the other guys, like just a crazy thing for me as a guy who's grown up here, and this team means a lot to me. I was a big fan growing up, and to now be a captain of the team and be one of the leaders of the team has been really special.
No, 100%. And you touched on this, you spoke on it, but you was a baseball player. You played in high school and everything too.
Yeah, so I was. That was probably my number one sport in high school.
I was going to ask you that. So was that like your first love first, and then was football?
Yeah. So I actually got my first offer for baseball as a sophomore in high school, and I was growing a lot at the time, and I was throwing pretty well from the left side.
Yeah,
so I was
throwing like pitcher.
So I was throwing like 85 as a sophomore in high school, which was pretty good. And so I had a few offers for baseball, and then I ended up getting hurt. I'd done some stuff to my elbow that wasn't great. So
Tommy John's?
No, it wasn't Tommy John. It was medial epicondyle for anyone that wants to get super into
research
it.
That
Yeah. So the bone, it was a whole deal, but an ugly injury. But so I was gonna stop playing football for real and just really focus on baseball because I was getting so many looks for it. So that kind of made me reset a little bit, take a step back, and I was like, all right. And then I got healed up, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play football in the fall.
Right.
Played, and then I ended up getting being on varsity that year. So it's just ended up sticking with both, but baseball was always my number one. And then my junior year we went to state. We had lost in state, and then my senior year we went back to state and we won it.
For baseball?
For baseball.
Wow.
And then I was Illinois State Player of the Year for baseball that year. Was getting looks for, like I did a workout for the Sox, the Cubs, a few other teams. So I was kind of like looking at that potentially, maybe just going out of high school and doing that. But
did you happen to like get drafted out of high school or something?
No, so it was after the draft, and it was when I was like, teams started coming to me and be like, hey, we'll sign you to a deal. And I'm like, you know what, I can play both at ND, so I'm gonna probably just go do that. But that was quite the experience. But baseball was always my number one, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it anybody, whether it's your parents or anybody in your close circle, that kind of told you, like, were you trying to teeter in between both and be like, well, 6'6", you probably can go play tight in the league versus the baseball deal? Was it anything like that, or you just made the decision yourself?
Well, it was tough. My dad was always been like the guiding light for me in that regard. He played football and he played in the league for a little bit, but he noticed the talent I had in baseball, and he was awesome in supporting me in doing both. I feel like a lot of people now force their kids to specialize in things, and I don't know how healthy that is in the long run, in my opinion. But
play as many sports as possible.
I think so. I think that's the way to go about it. And it worked for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but I do think it's beneficial to play both, or play as many as you can. So, he was great about having me do that, and I felt like I was at odds going into college on what I should do. And he's like, well, I had enough leverage in football at this point, and he's like, tell these schools that you want to play baseball too. And so that's what happened. And he was super supportive of me doing all that. And I remember my first game I pitched in as a freshman was at LSU in front of 12,000 people, sold out.
Sheesh.
And I closed the game.
Oh,
and,
that's cool.
My dad came for that game and down in Baton Rouge, and it was just a cool moment. Like, okay, like I had done both now at this point, and I was doing well at it. So. But he's always been like my biggest support with that, and
that's awesome.
It's cool to have that type of support system around.
For sure. And you kind of I want to speak on it a little bit, just when you talk about playing, multiple sports as a child. I think at a young age, I think nowadays, like, you see a lot of kids, they specialize in one sport at a super young age.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're trying to train kids up to go professional in this sport. And obviously all that's cool, but I just really think that when you're at a young age, you need to play sports to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of lessons you can learn from life, but you can't be, because that's how kids get burnt out on sports.
I think they get burnt out. And I think you look at the guys at the top of the game right now, whether it's Mahomes, Allen, like all these guys played multiple sports growing up. Herbert, like all these guys, like all these top quarterbacks, like, and I think they take a lot of what they've done in other sports and they can apply it to football.
Exactly.
I think a lot of guys who just go out and specialize in football, I think you get a little stiff and rigid.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's important to kind of have that fluidity in the game a little bit. And I think you
100%.
gain that from playing other sports. Whether that's you want to go play golf, whether it's soccer, whatever it is, I just think it helps. So yeah, the specialization thing I'm definitely not for. But hey, I feel nowadays people feel like they need to do it.
Exactly.
Do
Well, I
what you have
played
to
a little
do.
bit of baseball. Like I actually pitched a little bit. I've only played like 2 years, but I think I started too late.
For
'Cause
baseball?
Yeah, for baseball, because I feel like the earlier the better. You start too late. I was pitching, and I was in the league where it was only throwing fastballs, and
Yeah.
then like the next year they was throwing curveballs and knuckleballs, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't hit nothing.
Well, baseball is such a skilled sport that you
It's-
have to,
man.
you got to start. Those skills
Gotta
are so
start
hard to
early,
learn quickly,
100%.
you know. So,
But it's beneficial because even the times I weren't pitching, I was playing, center field, I was playing the outfield. So it helps you track the ball in football.
well, yeah.
And I was a big track runner in high school. I went to the state championship in track for the hurdles. But I was always in the mindset I was running track to get faster for football.
Sure,
So a
yeah.
lot of these sports, the skills translate.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I like that pass that you had the other day, the one that you're tracking.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
told you in camp, like you track the ball really. I was wondering if you had
Yeah.
played baseball, because all that stuff of learning how to track a fly ball can really apply to, I mean, your
No,
position
100%.
obviously, but like that eye-hand coordination of how to perceive where the ball is coming in at and all that stuff, I think can be really beneficial.
And I
especially
played
in football.
receiver in high school too.
That helps as
But
well.
to speak on that play, I have a high standard for myself. That was a drop. I was so hot in myself.
you thought you could have made it?
Listen, so when I was running, I was really just trying to chase to catch up to the guy.
Yeah.
So once I seen the ball, I would just run and think I just got to knock the ball down or something.
Sure.
And as I got closer, I was putting one hand. As I got closer, I was like, I might be able to pick this off. And I put two hands together, and the ball hit the top of my hand. I was so.
So you
pissed
got
at
there
myself.
quicker than you even thought.
I got there quicker.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Because the ball kind of floated a little bit, so
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
think I was gonna get there.
You probably thought he was going to drive it a little
I was in
more,
a
too.
panic mode.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's one of them
yeah,
shit plays. I was like, I just running, and
Yeah.
I got there. I said I could pick it. So yeah, I'm
Kind of surprised yourself.
Yeah, it's a PBU in the book, but it's a drop in my eyes. For
Yeah,
sure.
I got you. That's good.
But you spoke about your dad and how big of an influence he is
Yeah.
on your life. I know you come from a very athletic family. All your siblings play sports. You said your dad played in the league.
Yeah.
Your mom played basketball?
My mom played basketball, and then my mom's brother, so my uncle, played in the league for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got a lot of.
What did he play?
He was a nose guard for 17.
Nose guard?
Yeah.
And what year was this?
Worst injury he had, I think, was like a broken thumb.
Really,
In 17
nose
years.
guard.
Yeah, won a Super Bowl with the Rams in 2000. Yeah.
Oh, so he played in the days where they was running the ball too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
That is impressive.
yeah,
17
it's pretty
years.
wild. Yeah, to 17 years. Yeah.
You got good genes in your
Yeah.
family.
No, for
Lord have
sure.
mercy. So who's the best athlete in the family? I have to know.
Well, I have to. I think my youngest, the youngest brother right now is pretty good.
Really, he's playing quarterback,
He's
right?
playing quarterback. Yeah, yeah. So he looks really good. Yeah, he's pretty. He's kind of grown into his own right now. He
There
just
we
kind of
go.
hit his growth spurt and all that, so he's gonna get that size. But yeah, he looks pretty good. That's for sure.
What is their I know they're playing now. What's their record now?
They are. What did they just finish? I think they're 3-1 now.
3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So they're doing pretty well. But they got a long way to go before the playoffs hit. So.
I gotta check him out, man.
Yeah,
Has he
for
got
sure.
any looks? Is he getting any looks
Yeah,
now?
he's getting a few looks. Yeah,
There we go.
he's got a few like low D1 offers right now,
Okay.
but I'm sure that'll hopefully pick up here. As the
D1 is
season goes.
D1, baby.
Yeah, yeah. You just keep playing.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, just make the most of your opportunity. Wherever you go, you go ball out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So, let's say your brother football. You have how many siblings you have?
So I got my youngest brother who's playing football right now in high school. My sister, who actually she dates Lucas Van Ness, who's the defensive end.
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
for the Packers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Packers.
So he grew up near us, which is kind of funny. And then my other brother Casey, who just finished up at Notre Dame last year with baseball, he's now in law school. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, so he's busy at work. With
There
that
we go.
stuff. Yeah.
There we go. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So talk about your experience. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, just your experience at Notre Dame. We was kind of talking before we came in here. Your main recruiter, Scott Booker.
Yeah, yeah.
He was my safety coach in Tennessee for 5 years. That's my guy. We golfed this offseason and
Oh,
everything.
that's great.
Yeah, that's my guy. How was your experience at Notre Dame? Just kind of talk about going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was hard. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. School is no joke. I mean, there was days
Definitely
I'd leave practice just being like, "Holy crap!" With how tough the school
Yeah.
was, and then obviously the football was no joke as well. So
100%.
BK ran a pretty tight program over
Yeah.
there. We won a lot. I think I lost one home game the whole time I
Really?
was there. Yeah.
Home
So
field advantage right
yeah,
there.
we did a lot of winning when I was there, which was a lot of fun. But it was a great experience. I mean, obviously all those guys that I played with that are in the league now, and some who are done playing, but we're still all really close, and we got a good brothership, a good bond there, and all that stuff. So yeah, but it was a great overall experience. Busy with the football and baseball, and then the school.
I couldn't imagine that one.
I think I'm better off for it. So
Oh, 100%.
definitely look back and appreciative of my time there for sure.
So is Notre Dame tight end you? Or
I mean, I'm gonna have to say yes. You look at the amount of guys we've put in the league.
put a lot of guys out there.
For
not
sure.
even gonna
I know
lie.
Iowa has, George and Sam right now,
Yeah,
and a few
yeah.
others that they've had in the past. So, you could cue them up. Miami has guys that they've had. So, I think between Miami, Iowa, Notre Dame, Stanford has a few guys as well. So, got to throw them in the mix. But I think if you look at the totality of it, I think Notre Dame takes the cake.
And I think you guys like put out a lot of guys that get drafted early, like first, second round, like a lot of early round picks.
I think I know when I came out, it was something, and you might have to fact check me on this, but it was something like every starting tight end since the year, it was like 2006 or 7 at Notre Dame had always been drafted.
Wow.
So I mean that's pretty cool.
Nah, that's a stat right there.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. That's crazy.
Something like that. I don't know if that's exactly right, but it was something pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So a couple more topics I want to touch. Talk about your game day routine.
Yeah.
And like how's like your game? Because like some guys are different. Like for example, like some guys are early bus guys, some guys are late bus guys. Some guys don't really do anything as far as like somebody sit at their locker, just be on their phone all the time.
Yeah.
Barely go out to pregame. I'm just curious to know what's your game day routine like from the morning. Like, what do you eat? Do you eat a lot of food? Do you don't eat any food?
Well, I think it's changed as I've played. And I'm sure you feel the same. But like rookie year, I was the early bus guy. I like anxious.
Paranoid,
eating nothing before the game. Like just thinking about everything that I have to do for that day. But I think like recently, as you play, you kind of realize like what works best for you in your routine. Really for me, it kind of starts the night before. I eat a lot the night before because I just know how much. I mean, the other day we played. There was 92 plays on offense.
A lot of plays.
So you got to have that energy. So it's getting a good meal the night before, and I think that's where it really starts for me. Make sure I'm hydrating well, especially 48 hours before the game. And then I think going into game day, I eat, if we're playing a new game, say, I eat light in the morning usually. So I'll have like eggs, some fruit. Maybe like a French toast or something, but that's really with a cup of coffee. And then in terms of in the game, like I don't really listen to much music, which is kind of crazy. Like whatever.
I was definitely going to ask you what was your playlist.
Yeah,
for sure.
Whatever you guys listen to in the locker room, I just kind of.
So you're not a headphones guy at all?
No, not at all. It kind of gets me paranoid. I don't know why. It makes me feel like I'm in like a fishbowl or something. I don't know. I just don't like that feeling. I like being a little bit more lax with everybody. Like, and sure, I'm gonna be respectful of guys who are. Taking care of their business that want to listen to music. But like guys who are kind of similar to me, like maybe just want to shoot the shit or whatever, we hang out, have a good time, and do all that stuff. But 2 hours before the game, I'll go out and I'll do like a kind of a speed work routine. So I hit a couple sprints. So just it's not the first time when I'm in the game is the first time of the day that I'm going full out and booking it. So I do all that. That's been working great for me. I'll do a couple routes. Get inside, and then obviously we do our pregame warm up and all that. But for me, I keep it pretty chill for pregame. I'm not like listening to crazy music or anything.
That's funny that you say you're not a music guy at all.
Yeah, like on the bus over, like I was listening to a podcast. Like like I'll just whatever I would do, like
super chill.
Yeah, like whatever I would do in the car on the way to work or like coming back home from here, like is what I'd be doing.
But I like that because just kind of you said like my routine has changed a lot throughout the years as well. Like I used to try to listen to like the most hyped up music before the game. Like if I'm driving into the stadium, I used to like, for example, home games, you got to be in there, I think, 2 hours before kickoff? I would get in there maybe 2 hours and 15. I'd get there super late. And I just want to get up and go, listen to crazy music. Pre-game, I used to have the longest pre-game routine, just like full out sweat.
But you realize it's too much.
Just too much. You get out there in the first drive and you're pretty much burnt out already.
Absolutely, yeah.
But one thing that has changed, and it's funny, my wife gets on me about this all the time. I cannot eat a lot of food the night before the game and the day of the game.
Oh, so you can't even eat the night before?
So I eat something, but I'm like super basic salmon. Broccoli, some rice. And I get IVs, like at the hotel where I get IVs. And then the next morning, like before the last game, I literally had a smoothie. And that was it.
See, like I could maybe do that, like the smoothie thing before, but like the night before is like the one time I'm like, all right, I'm eating pasta, like all the carbs that like I want to eat like throughout the week. I'm like, I could load up because I'm burning all of this off tomorrow.
And it's so crazy because like I said, I put up a lot of stuff in this. This was usually like a fruit smoothie, but I put like some peanut butter in there, some honey, some yogurt or something like that.
Sure.
But like for some reason, like I have just like this mindset of like in the animal, like I get into like this animalistic type of deal where it's like, well, in the animal kingdom, like animals don't hunt unless they're starving. So I feel like for me to go out there and go hunt, exactly, bro.
Hey,
like to go hunt, like I just can't have no food. But like in the middle of the game, like I'm.
You ever cramp up though?
I don't cramp at all, really.
Really? Yeah.
I think that's because I'm not like a 4% body fat guy.
Yeah,
so
I cramp up like crazy if it's too like especially there's a lot of heat and we're running a lot of plays, like I'll cramp up. So I got to make sure that doesn't happen. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I don't. But like I said, during halftime or like right before after we do our pregame stuff, like I might just have like some oranges or like some fruit, but like I can't like in those little like some little snacks or something like that, the little fruit snacks or something like that.
Yeah.
You get some carbs in, but other than that, like, but at the end of the game, like, I'm eating everything they have available for us.
Absolutely.
The food that we have right on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm getting a burger on the plane, and I ate dinner again last night, so I eat a bunch afterwards, but I don't know, it's just weird. I can't really eat anything right before the game.
No, I feel that.
So, since you are obviously from the area, from the city, give me a couple do's and don'ts. The city of Chicago. And the first one I want you to touch is ketchup on hot dogs, bro. Give me this whole spiel. Because
well, I don't know why you'd want to put a ketchup on a hot dog.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, that's crazy. You're just ruining the beef that you're trying to eat here. Have you been to any hot dog joints around here?
I have not.
Okay, so
I'm not really a hot dog guy. I don't really eat hot dogs like I'm at a cookout or something like that.
Sure.
But I'm for sure going like
but if I
ketchup,
give you
relish, like
no ketchup. But if you go to this, it's called Jeans and Jude's.
Okay.
It's kind of right near O'Hare. That's like I would say the staple Chicago hot dog.
Okay.
You ask for ketchup, they will kick you out.
I'm sure.
So there's no, don't even.
I won't disrespect the city by doing that.
Yeah, don't even bother.
I do that in my house.
The mustard, all the good shit that comes on the Chicago dog. Just get it and then try it out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just not something we grew up with. If you put ketchup on things, like people who put ketchup on steak, you're crazy.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. So
my agent does this. So we go to a nice restaurant. My agent, David Mulugeta. Listen, he probably gonna get mad if he see this, but
he puts ketchup on his steak.
Bro, he put ketchup on his steak. I said, David, what are you doing? He said, well, you put ketchup on a burger. I said, it's not the same thing. That's ground beef.
Yeah, it's ground beef. Well, that was like when we went to dinner the other night in Kansas City, and Swift and Tremaine. I mean, I hope I'm not killing them here, but order their steak. It comes out like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
It's basically well done, and they're asking to get it cooked more. I'm like,
no, that was funny.
It cannot get cooked any more than it's cooked.
I'm a medium guy. I don't do medium rare. I still haven't got to that point.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm a medium
I would
for
say
sure.
I
can't
prefer
go
more
past
medium,
yeah,
but like,
medium.
I mean, when that thing starts, when there's no pink to it at all.
The hockey puck, that's hilarious.
Order chicken. Just order some chicken. We don't
100%.
There's no reason to order the steak here.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So, but
funny.
give me a do or don't of being here. Like, what if it's, traffic, weather, whatever. Like, give me some do's.
Okay, I would say don't get on the L after sunset.
Okay. Traffic here is crazy.
Yeah. So, but take the Metro is all good to go. So if you ever want to take the train in the city, get in and out, it helps with the traffic deal.
Right.
You can look up your the express train times on the Metro website. So. You can be in tune with that if you and the missus want to go down to the city and do all that stuff. So I think the train's the way to go there. You just got to plan your day out.
Exactly.
But
give me some weather advice because I haven't been here when it's gotten cold yet.
Oh, so you're in for a treat. So it's actually been pretty warm here the past couple weeks for September.
It's been solid.
I think it's supposed to cool off this week, which will be nice. So I'd say, once this week hits, and then going into probably about mid to late October, is my favorite time of the year for weather. So you're getting like the 60-degree weather, no humidity, slight little breeze.
Terrible.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah,
you can throw on a sweatshirt, be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
You're at practice. You're not feeling too hot out of practice.
Right.
But man, when it gets cold, it gets cold.
It gets
real.
I mean, when does it get real? Late November?
Usually,
or?
Well, I feel like it's been more so after the New Year, where after that first week of January, it gets like stupid cold.
Wow.
I don't know why. But like I like the cold and like the snow, all that during the Christmas season, and because I think it's part of the festivity.
Sure,
It makes the city looks great when it's snowing out and all that stuff. But For me, I'm done with all that shit after January 1st. Like, okay, once the holidays are over, like, get me somewhere warm.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, you gotta have a good parka. Get some good boots for the snow.
Okay.
I don't know if you're at a house or whatever. Like, make sure someone's getting
Yeah,
your
I got a
driveway
house.
cleaner.
Yeah, I
You
do.
gotta get on top of that because you don't want to have a day where you don't
Yeah,
have
for
somebody
sure.
cleaning it, and then you wake up and there's 4 or 5 inches of snow on your driveway,
Oh,
and you
man.
can't get the car out. So,
I'm dreading the mornings where, because I got an Escalade, I'm dreading the mornings and I can't park in the garage. So I'm dreading the mornings where I have to go out there and just start my
do you have a
car.
remote start?
I do.
Okay,
But I'm just dreading even just that little small walk to the
like
car
I
is gonna
have,
be freezing.
my car, I have like the app that you can like remote start
It's
it.
like
and
soon
I
as
have
you
to
wake
keep, I
up-
have to keep my truck outside my garage because it's too big.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I right when I wake up, I'm starting that thing.
You probably can set an alarm on it like at every certain
I'm sure
time.
you could. Yeah. I'll look into that. But I'm always setting starting the car up early. Give it 15 minutes to warm up. So
For sure.
give the car time to warm up. I'd have an ice scraper in your car for
Okay.
the for the
Definitely gonna need
windshields,
that.
all that stuff. Besides that, and then put your thing in the 4-wheel when you need to.
Oh, for sure, especially. Yeah, it's gonna be fun times. It's
Yeah.
gonna be exciting. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me,
You're a
man.
wonderful guest, man. I appreciate it. And Cole has been intercepted, so stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you.